We're going to be speaking tonight about the Ascension big picture. And we're going to be joined by many beings of light. In fact, I'm sure they're here already. And it's the time for celebrating. Because I think you probably feel it already. We're going home, but the home that was in the stars is actually here on earth already. And all we need to do is open our hearts and connect. So I want to begin tonight by saying a prayer that was gifted to me by Lady Mary. Mary. Quite a long time ago, about 20 years ago. And I was going through a bit of turmoil in my life actually, and I was at a beach north of Auckland in New Zealand. And I was walking along the beach in the early morning and I felt Lady Mary come to me. And this is what she said and asked me to write down. So this prayer is going to ground us, it's going to anchor us, it's going to bring us into the correct energy for the energy transmissions that are going to come through tonight. Because all the energy transmissions are about activating our purpose and our potential, opening our heart, helping us all do what we have come to the earth to do at this very special time of earth, human, planetary, and also like it's multi-galactic ascension really. And we know, because we know, all of you I'm sure know why you're here. You might not know the big picture of the purpose, but I'm sure you know that you've got one. Otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here in this room. So here's the prayer. So if we just shut our eyes. May the love of God come into this space, into our minds and into our hearts. In the stillness, let the word of God speak so that we might hear and come into the presence. Be at peace, be at peace, be at peace. May all those beings of light and love from the many mansion worlds of God join together with us now and support us on our journey, guide us, guard us, protect us, help us to be the very best people that we can be. Help us to bring through the energies of love and peace and oneness, co-creation together, so that we might join together in a global community, a unity community of way showers and light bearers to help with transformation on this planet and to show others the way. We're all way showers. And in accessing and truly bringing out the light that we are inside ourselves, then it becomes easy for us to show the way, because it's not about doing anything. We don't really have to do anything. It's really only about being the energy that we were originally created to be and that we actually are within ourselves, timelessly and eternally. And so the blessing of God, of all that is, of the multi-galactics, of beings from beyond the beyond and the beings from within the earth, who are all one with us, really. This blessing is here with us now and forever. From this day forth, our lives will be transformed and we will not feel the same and we will not be the same. And the true potential that is locked away within us will be able to express and come forth. This is the promise and this is the plan. Mujilaki, Kalasana Malakuya. I said to Kasabatakushan and Abatakusotabaki. Alakata Sata Kasapatula Sadabati. Akalakazet Sapatakulosh Sadabati. Akazetiki Sasianabatia. Akalakasitia. 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 So it's strange sounding language to some of you, I know. And to some of you who've heard this language, it's not so strange. And it's great to see the kids in the front here. And it might sound really weird to you too, but I think on some level of your being, you probably know this language. Do you? Like it feels sort of familiar, but it's still a bit strange, right? So I want to tell you all the story that I've received from Spirit over the last 22 years that I've been doing this work. And understand that it's not a story that I've been told by any person. And it's not scientifically proven. I don't know. I'm just a channel, like a conduit. So all I'm doing is I'm getting information in my mind, telepathically transmitted. And all I'm really doing is feeling within my heart whether it feels true, whether it rings true or not. So when you're sitting here tonight, don't let me tell you anything the way it should be or the way I think it is. You just have to feel for yourself and feel whether that feels truth and right for you, you see? Because that's the way I've done it. I haven't been told anything by any person. I've just received information. And because I've been doing it for quite a long period of time, I've learnt how to discern whether it feels right to me or not. But that's just a learning, and it just takes a bit of time. So the way to discern is just by feeling. It's like using your intuition, like your gut feelings. And feeling with your gut whether this is warm and fuzzy and feels right, or feel with your gut whether it feels a load of balderdash and not true at all. Because it's your energy experience that will tell you the truth of what I'm talking about. Because it's a bit of an expansion, really, the story of human creation. It's a bit of a, like you've got to get your head around it a bit. It's not that easy to just suddenly believe things that are maybe completely different from what we've been conditioned to believe in our childhood and with the teaching at school and what we've believed our whole life. So the only yardstick really is what we feel. Honestly, the only yardstick is what we feel. And that's my only yardstick in all of this time, because if I didn't shake with the energy and if I didn't feel anything, I wouldn't have done this work for so long, you see. So I'm going to tell you my story later. But first of all, I want to tell you the story of the bigger picture of ascension, what this is all about. And Spirit are really talking through me here as I'm the channel. But I used to shake all the time, and I used to speak in strange voices. But I don't do that anymore. I just speak like a normal person. Because really, I am a normal person. We're all the same. We all have these abilities within us. We all do. And the only reason it's developed in me is because I think it's my sole purpose and my role to play at this time, in this particular lifetime. But also I've been prepared by Spirit who've opened me up, trained me, you see. But everybody can connect with Spirit, and I'll teach you later how to do it, if you'd like to. Simple, see? Because we're all people, beings, who have the God code. We're all created by the divine. We're all created by God, and you could call God universal energy. You don't have to call it religious God. It's just God, really. It's just universal creation energy. So we're all created by this oneness. We all can connect with this oneness, you see? So the story. Just have some water. So just cast your mind back now, a long period of time, maybe as much as 600,000 years on planet Earth. And this is what spirits say. They say that 600,000 years ago, Earth was a place called Tara, T-A-R-A. Tara is a word that literally means star. So Tara, that was the Earth all that long time ago, was like a star in this galaxy, this Milky Way galaxy. It was a beautiful, pristine planet of high energy. And the existing beings on that planet at that time were not like us, because we're human and they weren't, but they were very highly evolved and very sacred and very special. But what happened is that in the higher heavenly worlds, or the higher heavens, there was something called the angelic rebellion. And some of these angels, or the beings who were not in physical bodies, they were more in light bodies. The beings on the earth were in physical bodies, but not just human physical bodies. But the beings who were in light bodies in the higher heavenly worlds, which is beyond the 12th dimension, in this 48 dimension galactic galaxy called the Milky Way. So beyond the 12th dimension, beings in those dimensional worlds are more light-filled, and they don't really take on a physical form. They can take on a physical form, but they don't have to, and usually they don't. And then there's the angelic realms or the angelic kingdoms. And the beings in the angelic realms, some of them, turned away from this feeling of oneness and the light of all, and they became what's called fallen angels, which just means that they contracted in consciousness. They got too engrossed in themselves, separatism, and they forgot about the oneness. So there was a movement of some of these beings towards Earth, because, as Tara as it was then, because they wanted to hide out there, because Tara was at that time fifth dimensional, but it was a really strong, powerful place, and it was a good place to come to. There was also multigalactic or galactic extraterrestrial races who also, over a long period of time, also came to Tara. And gradually, the high frequency vibration of Tara began to contract and diminish. And this is what's known as the fall, you see. You've probably heard about the fall. So it happened over a very long period of time, maybe several hundred thousands of years. And because the existing beings who went through different cycles of evolution and regression, you see, it was like God tested out different species, you see, on Tara, and it gradually became Earth. And so around 100,000 years ago, it was pretty rugged here, because Tara had contracted so much in consciousness for a long period of time it had become third-dimensional Earth. But the beings who were on third-dimensional Earth at that time couldn't really be reached by divine spiritual light, by divine spiritual forces, because their genetic makeup was not able for that to occur. They didn't have the required genetic code to be reached by the light, you see, and they'd regressed so much in their physical structure and their beingness. And we see this, you know, we look at what is evolution on this planet. It's not the whole picture, Spirit tell me, it's only part of the picture. You know, because we as people living on the earth right now cannot really go back 600,000 years or 500,000 years and necessarily know who was really here. So it's become a theory that is partly true, but they spirits say not fully true. There were more advanced races here a long time ago, and they were often star races who'd come to Earth. So around 100,000 years ago, so the story goes, the Galactic Council of this Milky Way galaxy looked at this problem and they thought, what are we going to do? There's all these beings on Earth, this beautiful Earth that was once Tara, and they can't be reached by the forces of light. They can't be upgraded and resurrected. So what are we going to do? And it was decided by the Galactic Council to contribute an aspect of some of the DNA of some of the more advanced star races within this Milky Way galaxy to the creation of an entirely new species to be called the human, and to bring this human species to seed the Earth. So it was really a experiment in genetic engineering. And the ones who were most controlling of this experiment were the Elohim, like the God creators, God, with the Sirians, because the Sirians were really adept at genetic engineering, Sirius, also Pleiades, the Lyrans, Andromeda, which is another galaxy, Arcturians. They all got together and they contributed the best of their own genetic code to the creation of this new being. And we look like them. We look like the Sirians, we look like the Pleiadians, really, because they created our DNA. So around 100,000 years ago, I was probably there. I think most of us were, probably. And that's why we're here now, because we decided on a soul level that we would come to Earth from the stars that we had been on at that time to take in the human DNA. Because the thing is, once you came to Earth from the stars 100,000 years ago and became human, you couldn't get out of it until the time came for the Earth to ascend. Now what that really means is until the time came for the Earth to return to the faster pulsating energy frequency of the fifth dimension that Tara had been. Because it descended, you see, it contracted from Tara and became Earth for this very long period of time. So 100,000 years ago, just for example, maybe we all decided that we would come to Earth and become human. But we knew that we would have to stay here, going through endless cycles of life and death and rebirth, all of this long period of time, until the Earth was at the required frequency for the forces of light within the high heavenly worlds and in multi-galactic worlds now, actually. God expanded to be able to come into our energy fields of Earth, as it is now, and activate Earth to shift to the fifth dimension, and activate humans to really connect with the true power and potential which was written in our DNA code by these star systems and these beings from Pleiades, Sirius, etc., and the God energy, of course, of the Elohim, all that long period ago. So when they created the human being 100,000 years ago, they gave the human being a 12-stranded DNA potential. But because we've been on third-dimensional Earth for all of this long period of time, living out all these cycles of life and birth and death and da-da-da, this true potential that is within the human genome, the human DNA, hasn't been able to be activated, you see, until now. And this is because the Earth wasn't vibrating at the correct frequency for the activation to occur. And as part of the divine plan, the energies that were required for the activation, which is light, you see, couldn't come through to planet Earth. So we just had to sit here and go through all the cycles and do our best in this veiling, because you know what it's like. I'm sure some of you will remember your past lives. I know you probably will. Many of you will. But when you come into a new body, you tend to forget each lifetime that knowledge of the past is veiled from us. And at this time now, particularly since the 1980s, more and more people are starting to remember that they're more than just this body. It's more than just this life. People are starting to remember previous lifetimes and what they did in those previous lifetimes. And soul knowledge that is within our cellular memory, that is within the Akashic records of our soul, really, is being activated so that we suddenly remember these things. And I remembered when I wrote this book, which I now can't see, but I wrote this book called Sunshine Before the Dawn. And that was the story that I've just been telling you about the creation of the human being. And when I wrote this book, I actually saw a spaceship. I was living in upstate New York at the time, by a lake, in the Finger Lakes. And one night I was sitting there just having a glass of red wine and minding my own business and looking at the lake. And I saw this big ball of light over the lake. And I looked at it really intently because it was quite large and it wasn't moving. It was sort of hovering. But it wasn't a plane. It wasn't making any sound, and I just watched it. And as I watched it, like leaning over the balcony, a big blast of energy came and it hit me in the throat, and it went like this and just about knocked me over. And then I got words in my head telepathically being spoken to me. And the words were from this person. He told me he was the commander of a spaceship. And that this ball of light was like a landing craft, like encircled by light. And the information I got telepathically spoken to me was, we're coming soon, we want to tell you a story, and we want you to write it down and share it with others. So that's the story that I wrote, and it's on my website. It's called Sunshine Before the Dawn. It's a book. But it's a book that helps us all remember who we truly are. And it activates, when you read the words, it activates you to remember. So it opens us up. It opens us up to remember why we came to the earth in the first place and what we're here to do. It's like coding in those words. So the story is about a woman called Esayenia from Sirius, who was part of the Galactic Council or the Galactic Union, and she discussed with the Galactic Council this new proposal to create the new human being. And so they took it and they brought it into operation, and that's what it is. And I don't know, but when I was writing the story, I just got the words dictated to me, like I was taking dictation. And as I was taking dictation, and I wrote it all down just on the computer, I also saw it happening, like a movie playing out in my head. So I could see all the Syrian mountains of the morning star. And I could see on Lyra, I could see the emerald hills of Lyra and the buildings and the people and what it looked like. And I knew I wasn't making it up because I only got like sentence by sentence, paragraph by paragraph at a time. And it was quite astounding to me that it actually turned into a story that actually had a plot. You know, it had it had a story. It had a storyline, you see. So that's just one example of how over these past 22 years I've known that what I'm doing is not crazy, because my background was totally normal, and I've just walked forward in trust, actually. So going back to the big picture of ascension, the human beings were created to seed the earth 100,000 years ago. We all came to earth to take on the human DNA so that at the right time we could be activated by divine forces, by the light, to step into a more expanded purpose, to help with this shift, to help be way showers and help take the people of the earth forward, because there's billions of people on the earth and most of them don't know what we're talking about here tonight. We're like the tip of the iceberg here. But this ascension wave and creating a new community and a new global consciousness has to start somewhere. And it starts with us, you see. So my purpose in coming here is really as a conduit, as an energy catalyst with spirit, so that they can bring through energy through me to activate aspects of your DNA code, which may have been dormant until now, to spark the activation of what is truly within us as human beings. You know, scientists talk about junk DNA. A lot of DNA doesn't appear to have a purpose, but the divine never created anything as junk anything. So maybe it does have a purpose, and maybe it's just going to be activated. Maybe not all in our lifetime right now, but maybe as the human species evolves and changes in the next several hundred, maybe several thousand years, maybe more and more and more of the human genetic potential will be triggered to express. See? So we're just here in the pioneering stage of this, because you all know that in 1987 there was the harmonic convergence. So if you were around at that time, there was like a big wave of energy and we started to get woken up. And for those of you who were alive on planet Earth in 1987, it was a time of probably significant change in your life, when there was a letting go of old ways of being and old conditioning. Maybe life changed on many levels, jobs changed, many things changed. And then we come down the track more to the early years of the 21st century, much more change, more people being activated, a lot of children being born from 1980, indigos, who think differently. They're wired up differently. You see, all of you three sitting here, wired up differently. Yeah. You're here for a very special reason. You're here to really help the planet. You're here to understand the bigger picture of life and trust yourselves and trust that you know it, because you do know it more than most of us sitting in this room tonight. You know it, okay? So these children here, we give you deep respect because you are old souls who've come to earth for a reason and a purpose. So thank you for being here, okay? So all of us really, you could say that we're all old souls and we've come here for a reason and a purpose. And may that purpose begin to express itself more abundantly tonight. So the bigger picture of ascension really is that we are beginning now a wave of energy coming into planet Earth. You see, up until 2012, the Earth was vibrating in this slower pulsating third dimensional energy environment. What happened in 2012, it wasn't like suddenly wham bam and everything's different, was it? And many people thought that it would be. And it was a little bit disappointing that you woke up on the 22nd of December 2012 and nothing much had changed. Except there was a shift. It was just that it took a while to get to that shift and then shifted and then it keeps going. So this ascension wave is not sort of ended in 2012. The Earth suddenly didn't shift and that's it on December 21st, 2012. It's a process. And we're part of that process. So we're shifting and changing too. You know, the energy that's coming to Earth is getting stronger and stronger. And we know this, probably most of you know this, because you feel different. Who feels different? You feel the energy. If you're sensitive to energy, you feel it. You feel like you're wired up to the national grid the whole time. Do you? Yeah, it's like, and you start to shake at times, and sometimes it's a bit hard for our physical bodies to deal with this energy. But it's going to get stronger, you see. So we need to understand the bigger picture of what it's all about, because it will get stronger. And that's partly why what we want to do tonight is explain what's going to happen and how we deal with it. Okay? So what I have noticed since 2013 is that this ascension wave of energy, it has got stronger. And in 2013, a stargate opened called the Stargate of Aldebaran. And Aldebaran was known by ancient astronomers as being one of the 4 royal stars in the sky. So that was sort of interesting, that they knew there was something special about Aldebaran. And they called it the Divine Star of Revelation. So this Stargate, the Stargate of Aldebaran, opened in 2013. And what was it revealing? What it was revealing, and as a channel I came to understand, is that it was revealing a new wave of energy source. It was revealing a much more powerful God creation energy source than what had been streaming from the galactic centre of our Milky Way galaxy to hitting the sun and bouncing off the sun and coming to Earth. The energy started to become exponentially accelerated, expanded, more powerful. And you would have felt this, because for some of you, you might have felt that your health has been breaking down in the last few years, right? Because there's strong energy coming in, and our physical bodies have to adapt to that energy. So we're not actually breaking down and getting sick. We're actually breaking through and getting well. But because we've had all this karmic trauma locked away in the cellular memory of our body and in our energy fields and in the roots and facets of the chakras, the stronger and stronger energies that are coming in now through the Stargate of Aldebaran from multi-galactic sources, and I call these multi-galactic sources beyond the beyond, because we're going beyond this Milky Way galaxy. We're going beyond what we know, so we're going to beyond the beyond. And now I understand, and I'm told, that the energy is coming from the heart centre or the galactic centre of 22 galaxies working together with their energy. So each of these galaxies has a different vibration, which together creates like a one note, if you like, a oneness of energy, which is much more powerful than the energy which was coming to Earth from the galactic centre of this Milky Way. It's like it's been compounded to the power of 22. And this is happening for a reason. It's happening because this is part of our human ascension process, which is not really about going up or going anywhere. It's about taking our physical bodies with us through this time. As Jesus Christ said 2,000 years ago, you will take your bodies with you. You will not leave your body like I have left my body. You will take your body with you. And that's what we're doing. So We're adapting to these energies now, and we have been since 2013. But what's going to happen in 2020 is that this very powerful energy is going to get an awful lot more powerful. So part of my purpose is to go around and tell people like you who are the way showers on the planet, the ones who understand and know what's happening, so that you can go out and tell others what's happening, and they're not completely freaked out and worried and think that Earth is disintegrating because of climate change or anything like that. Because I don't get that at all. See? I feel that we are going through a powerful time of resurrection, actually, and regeneration. And that where we sit right now, how we experience this right now can be a little bit up and down. And that's only because we are human and we've had all these past life experiences that haven't felt so great. See? So these vibratory memories get stirred by this energy coming in to the planet. And us, of course, because we're living on it. We've got our feet on the earth. So as the earth changes and adapts, so too do we, see? And it isn't particularly easy. I think it will get better. I feel for all of you in this room, because you've gone through a lot of change probably. It will get easier and easier. That's the purpose and the plan tonight, really, is to help with your physical body so that you can work with the energy better and handle it better. But for a lot of people on the planet, it might get harder and harder, because Jesus Christ also said, love is the key and the way, remember? Love is, because the love vibration is the gateway to more expanded states of consciousness and vibration, because love is the key and the way to the joy vibration. And when we can consciously create joy within every cell of our body and have it vibrate through our body, the cells of the body, and through the energy fields of the body, when we can do that, then we are really halfway there in this whole process. Because when we can do that, then we are actually assisting ourselves through this ascension process and helping ourselves feel better physically, and it becomes an awful lot easier. So I want to just take you now through a little meditation, which is helping to expand the joy vibration. We're going to begin with love, and then we're going to do another little guided meditation to do with joy. And some of you will know this meditation because it's on my website in the library. It's pretty simple. And the reason we're doing this is because as people, we need to learn in a few minutes a day how to actually consciously create the vibratory states that will assist and support the ascension energies that are streaming into Earth, you see. Mainly so that we go through this process with ease and grace and we feel physically better and more regenerated and happier, you see. So this is what we're going to do. So shut your eyes. It's really simple. And then you just need to do this for a few minutes a day. So we're going to start with love, and then we're going to move it into joy. So first of all, I just want you to imagine a beautiful magenta pyramid of light. You can see it as two-dimensional, just like a picture being slapped on your chest, really. But it's actually multidimensional, multifaceted. So just imagine that this beautiful pyramid of light, it's magenta, which is purple-pink, is coming down over your head, and it's stopping at the level of just below the diaphragm, just at where your chest bones start, your vertebrae start. So the base of the pyramid is there at the level of the vertebrae, and the apex, or the top of the pyramid, is up above your head about 2.5 feet at the level of the 10th chakra, which is the Christ consciousness grids. So just for a moment, just breathe into this beautiful magenta energy. And just imagine that at the left-hand base of this pyramid, you're deliberately creating an energy of peace. This is like the anchor point. So to do this, you just think peace. And just imagine that you're putting peace energy in the lower left-hand base of the pyramid. Peace. And it's really simple to do because all we're doing is using our mind, our intention, and our knowing that that's what we're doing. And we can do it in an instant. We don't have to sit for hours meditating to do this. We can just put it straight there, peace. Now I want you to create the emotion, the feeling of love in the lower right-hand base of this pyramid. Just place love there. And love is also the key in the way because the heart chakra is between above and below in our chakra system. And then we're going to reach right up. Imagine that you're going right up above your head. And at the top of this pyramid, I want you to put the vibration of joy, which is like love expanded, feeling really, really happy. And what you might discover is that your body starts to pulsate a bit. Do you feel that? And you feel warmer. And you start to tingle. And it's an actual deliberate creation of joy vibration. And every time you breathe in, just breathe in very quietly, and every time you breathe in, imagine that you're breathing up to the joy. And just let the air out through your mouth or through your nose, doesn't matter what. And just imagine that as you breathe out, the joy vibration is flowing down through your body and expanding out into the energy fields around your body. So you're just becoming this little joy magnet. And you're radiating joy, love expanded. Feel it tingling through every cell of your body, because if you are to do this, if you do this regularly, maybe for 7 minutes or 11 minutes once a day, you're going to entrain to the joy frequency. It's going to become you, and you are going to become it. And when you do this, life will start to magically change, because your vibratory state will attract more of that joy energy, the more of the magic, more of the good things, more of the capacity to actually manifest and create. Because we can manifest and create so much better when we are doing it from the space of joy, because it's like a catalyst. So I want you now, as you make that joy even more stronger, just breathe up to the joy vibration, and we'll just do it for a couple of minutes. And just let that joy vibration, like golden light, golden rain, trickle down through your physical body. You feel the vibration. So on the in-breath, just reach up to the joy. And then just relax, and as you breathe out, without any stress or effort, just let that joy vibration flow down through your physical body. Now, if you were to create something, just imagine something you wish to create with your mind, and just to yourself, with your intention under your breath, you can speak it very softly if you want. Just say the words, with the power of God that I am, whatever it is you want to create, from that space of joy, the power of God that I am, and then you just know. And if you want to, you can actually use a very special mantra, a very special code, to make this intention stronger and more likely to manifest. So I'm going to say the code to you. You just focus on the words that you've said and what you want to create, and keep the joy vibration running, and I'll say the mantra. It was a mantra taught to Esayenia, this woman from Sirius in the book. Myasmia, Eunonia, Jacinthe. 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 These words will help instill and bring forth that creation more strongly.
Shilaki kalabati salabilokoya. Aglads will be good balisa. Oculista stan melacodia. Alabatacotabidis lord abatacasi. A calabatacolos sadabilaglessa bilaglessa. A cadis sadabiticulabiticulabisadiguia. Medus lucadassa. Melacodis sadabiticulushina batacti. Alacalabiticulabadia sadicabadia. Aka, 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 aka. And the ka, of course, in ancient Egyptian times was to do with the physical body, you know, the ka. They called it the ka, the ka, the ka. So I find it interesting when those words get transmitted through me automatically like that, because it's to do with the physical body. It's like grounding, grounding, grounding into our physical body, through our physical vessel. So we now understand that. Okay. There's another joy meditation that I just want to touch on here and teach you as well, which you can maybe do. So for this one, you just put your hands on your heart chakra. And if you shut your eyes, you don't have to shut your eyes, but if you shut your eyes, you're better able to attune to the feeling of this than if you've got your eyes open, particularly in the beginning when you're learning it. So here I want you to imagine a very much smaller pyramid, quite a small little pyramid. It's platinum silver. And you're just placing it right in the center of your heart chakra, in the center of your chest. This is a joy pyramid. And you just breathe in normally. And as you breathe in, just imagine that you're breathing in through this platinum silver pyramid. So the energy, the air is going in through the center of this pyramid, and then you're just letting go, just sighing the air out, and you're letting go easily, without effort, into beauty and light. Beauty is very connected to the heart chakra in Kabbalah. So you're breathing into joy and you're just letting go without any effort into beauty and light. Just try that for a couple of minutes and see if you notice a difference. You may find that this energy feels more expanded to you. Just put your hand up if you do. Yeah, good. Thank you. This is the next step, the next level really from the magenta pyramid. But both of these meditations will help take us beyond ourselves, beyond who we know ourselves to be. They're going to speed up your vibratory rate, you see, which is going to make it easier to connect to the energies of ascension that are streaming into Earth and getting stronger, particularly from 2020 to 2033. 13 years of extreme ascension wave activation for people and the planet, see? So what we're doing is we're getting ourselves ready now to assimilate these frequencies and understand what's happening to us as people. So you can open your eyes now. Okay? So when I started to receive information about Beyond the Beyond, which was in 2014, I didn't really know what that meant. I had no idea what that meant. I'd never heard that concept before. But I started getting a lot of information about Beyond the Beyond and about what was happening with this opening of the Aldebaran Stargate. And I got to understand that there's like a star council
which is not really a group of beings that we can identify because they're really in a oneness. They're like a oneness of vibration. And they said to me that their name, or this combined oneness of vibration, was El Sa-Om, because El is a word which means of God, Sa means expanded or ascended, and Om, we know what Om means, like universal peace or oneness. So El Sa-Om was just a name really given to the energy that's now coming, which is a more expanded God energy matrix. It's like powerful and getting ever powerful. And I feel that there's more stargates going to be opening in 2020 and beyond. So we're just at the really beginning stages of this now, you see, really beginning. So just to summarise then, this ascension wave, ascension cycle is not about going up, it's not about going anywhere, actually. It's about integrating more expanded, more accelerated God energy into our physical human vessels. And it's about activating the true human potential that we have within our DNA genetic code that has not been able to be activated to express before. So it's hard for me and anybody really like now to say where this is all going. We'll sort of see how we go over the next 13 years. But what I have seen even in the last 6 months, it's massive change in me and massive change in many other people. And you probably noticed, have you felt this too? Like 2019, it's been really powerful change. And it seems like, it's 6 months almost, it's nearly 6 months since the beginning of the year. But boy, it seems like 6 years. Do you reckon? Very powerful, quick change. And I guess what we're also being called to do now is just surrender and be more and more, not try to orchestrate anything or pre-plan it, just live in the moment, to be in the moment. For example, when I came along tonight, I had actually no idea what I'm talking about, you see, because I'm not allowed to prepare anything anymore. All I can do is open my mouth and trust that the right energy and the right words are going to come through at the right time. There's no way I can prepare because Spirit are using me as this vessel. So let's go back a little track and I'll just explain how this maybe came about for me. Because as I said, I'm just like you, I'm a perfectly normal person. I've had a perfectly normal life. I originally trained as a physiotherapist in New Zealand, where I was born and lived. I got married, had children. One of them's here tonight at the back, helping me, Rich. And just did everyday stuff like everybody else. And then something really quite incredible happened, and that was 22 years ago when I was doing marketing and public relations, and I had been doing that for about 15 years. But I got to the stage I couldn't sit in front of the computer anymore. Every time I sat in front of the computer to write press releases and things like that, I'd get a really bad headache and I'd feel terrible. And at that same time, I got a brochure in the mail about a Learn to Channel workshop, Learn to Connect to Spirit workshop. And I felt this feeling of, I have to go to this. I also felt the feeling of, come on, you can't wimp out of this. You've got to do this. This is what you're meant to be doing, you see. Some of you may have felt a bit like that getting here tonight, where you just feel, oh, I really want to go, but it's such a long way, and maybe I don't need to go. And it's lovely to see you all here, actually, because that's exactly what happened to me. The day that I went to this Learn to Channel workshop, which was in Auckland, I very nearly didn't get there. But I had this inner feeling of, you have to go. But I couldn't find the venue, and I sat around in a cafe for half an hour deliberating whether I'd just go home or not. But I got a little voice in my head that says, you always wimp out. You always sabotage yourself. Why do you do this? So I thought, this time I have to find this place. So I found the place within about 3 minutes. I was a bit flustered. They gave me rescue remedy as soon as I walked in the door. But this workshop of learning to connect with Spirit absolutely changed my life because we started sensing the energy of crystals, any crystals like quartz crystal or rose quartz, whatever, in the room. just held it and we shut our eyes. And what I noticed is I was rocking off the chair. I was nearly falling off the chair. So I was obviously really attuned energetically to these crystals, which meant that I could sense energy really well, you see. So then on day 2, we had to do a little exercise where we walked through a golden doorway into the light, imagined it, and we asked that we connect with the highest level being, align with the light. We asked this being to come to us. So when I did that, I saw in my inner sight, not with my naked eye, but with my inner sight, because I had my eyes tightly closed, I saw this being, this man, who had dark skin and black eyes and a black beard and wearing a purple robe, which is quite unusual. I mean, you could have hundreds or thousands of visions, you see, but that was the one I got. And then we had to ask, who are you? You see, so in my mind I said, okay, who are you? And I very clearly got the word Balthazar. And I thought, gosh, can't be making that up. Balthazar. Balthazar. And we practiced sensing this energy of Balthazar. And what I also noticed about myself, because I seem to be very attuned to the energy, is I completely shook. Every time Balthazar's energy connected with my energy, I shook like a leaf. And what also amazed me is that when I started to speak, and people would come and they'd ask me, but they were really asking Balthazar questions, you see. And what amazed me is I somehow knew the answers, and I didn't know these people, and I had no idea why I was saying what I was saying. But what I noticed also is that when I was speaking, it wasn't my voice. It was like someone else's voice, but it came out of me. So that was my beginning as a channel, really, you see. And at the same time, when all the public relations stuff fell away, I retrained as an energy healer, working in the human energy field. And that was a 3-year course of study. Because I'd been a physiotherapist in the first place, I understood it really well. You see, and that's another thing I want to tell all of you. In your early life, you don't know why you do things sometimes. I used to get a bit frustrated because I only did physiotherapy for 7 years, and I looked at my sisters and other people that I know, and they'd been a doctor or a lawyer and they'd done it forever. But I was never allowed to do that. I had to keep moving into something else, which I found a little bit frustrating because you can never sort of rest on your laurels. I've never been able to teach workshops on healing more than once. Every single workshop I've ever taught has been different. And I've taught hundreds. So that was a bit of a pain, really, because it would be so much easier if you just taught Reiki or you taught something and you just did the same thing every time you pitched up at some hall and talked to a new group of people. It would be so much easier, but it's never been like that, see? So what happened for me is that I worked with Balthazar, my first ever spiritual guide, who told me over the week that followed that he was one of the 3 wise men, one of the magi. You see, Balthazar, one of the 3 wise men. Because these guides, these beings of light, they come to us in the beginning to help us understand our own connections, to help us understand that we are the same as them, and that they don't come to us to disempower us. They come to us to teach us and be a bridge for us so that we can step into our own truth, you see. So we should never give our power away to these beings. They come to help us. So for a year I used to practice connecting with Balthazar, and he would come to me and he would teach me things and he would give me information because my life was in a bit of a disarray at the time on many levels, and his wise counsel really helped me feel safe and secure, actually. And then from there on it was just an opening to archangels, cosmic angels, ascended masters, Jesus, Mary. It's like every single being I somehow got connected with for a period of time. And it wasn't until 2002 that I started to speak these languages, which was 5 years later. This was 1997 when I first started to channel. And the speaking of the languages of light, which I'll explain more about the languages of light to you in a moment, but that happened automatically. It wasn't something I ever knew that I could do or ever trained to do. And it was quite a shock to me. I was just at a spiritual convention in Christchurch in New Zealand where I lived. And I got prompted that I needed to meditate for quite a long period of time, for 3 days, and then I needed to stand in front of the group of people who were there, and that Spirit were going to bring some information through. Remember, I was a channel, but I didn't know anything about light language and I never heard it. So I asked if I could do this, and I was granted permission. So at 7 o'clock on the 1st of January 2003, I stood in this big marquee in front of all the people, and I said, I don't know what's going to happen, but I think something is. And at that stage, because I was really nervous about my channeling, I shut my eyes. So I shut my eyes and I said to Spirit, quietly, in my head, come on, bring it on. I don't know what you want to do, but I trust. After 5 years, I trusted. Because I've never been let down. They've never let me down. They always speak through me in the perfect way. I couldn't do it on my own, you see. So they brought through, what they did is I felt this energy, and then I started speaking this really weird sounding language, just burbled out of my mouth. And it was such a shock. I sort of opened one little eye, because I heard laughing, and I thought that people were laughing at me, and I wouldn't blame them really. But what I noticed is that some people were laughing, and some people were crying, and some people were just sitting like stuffed dummies, you see. So that was the beginning for me. And then over the 15 years since then, it's just this language of light has changed and evolved, and I've worked quite a lot with beings from other star systems, first of all within the Milky Way galaxy, like the Sirians in particular, the Lyrans, Arcturus. For several years they taught me Arcturian healing, and I used to teach that. And it's only been in the last few years that I've really worked with this more expanded source energy of creation, which I now say is coming from beyond the beyond. I now understand after 22 years, we're looking now with 22 galaxies, interesting, 22 years since I first began this journey, and now it's evolving into this ascension wave. And I know that the energies that are coming through, these words that have started to evolve and change, are different now, because they're designed to activate us. So they're like coding sequences of sound and light, designed to activate human potential. That's exactly what they are. You see, the DNA code is like a script. It's like a linear digital code, isn't it? It's long strings of words and sentences and punctuation, just like our English language. Except the DNA script or the DNA code is written with only 4 letters in this language, not 26 like English. So it's a very simple language actually. And these 4 letters that are used in the DNA code, and they're put together in many different ways, in many different sequences, are A for adenine, T for thymine, G for guanine, and C for cytosine. And what these are is they are nucleic acids. And the nucleic acids are the precursor for amino acids in the protein code in the human body, you see. So it's how these letters are strung together in our DNA code, like it might be ATT. But each of these letters has their own digital meaning. And so when I'm speaking these languages, which you will hear shortly, you'll hear it as a da 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 da, because it's digital, you see, and digital just means that each of these letters or each of these sounds has its own meaning. It's just strung together in sequences. And these sequences of sound and light, vibration and energy, which are now coming out of my mouth, are designed by Spirit, not by me, because I've never learnt this language, it's just being transmitted through me, are designed by Spirit to activate change on the DNA and the level of the DNA template. It will take some time for all of these changes to manifest into change within our physical form, but we're starting now. And the next 13 years, these changes that will go on in our physical body will take us through a process of first healing, which is coming back into the true perfected balance within our bodies, but then to take us beyond the way we've always been in our human bodies, and to a certain degree to regenerate our physical human bodies, so that we have more energy, more vitality, we live longer, we have more life to our years, we don't feel ill. There's no need for human beings as they get older to degenerate and get sick. We should be here in really strong, perfected, strong bodies until we leave. And that should not be a drama. It should just be very simple and when the time is right. See? So we're beginning to change on many levels of physical form. You know, I've done quite a bit of work in the last 4 years to do with Regenesis, and it's in my website library, which is ascensionlibrary.org. I'll talk to you about that later. But I know, because I've seen many changes in my own physical body, that it's really happening. And if I didn't see that, I wouldn't know. But I do know, see, because I feel stronger, better, physically fitter, younger than I used to feel by a long way. See? So I know that's going to happen for everybody. Okay? Which is really great. Yeah. So let's move after. If you have water with you, just drink it. So I'm working with beings from multidimensional realities, particularly with the source energy from beyond the beyond. I'm also working with energies, beings from within the earth, from this place called Amenti. Amenti is the place of creation within the earth. So as people, we are actually conduits between above and below. So we're receiving creation energy from both sources now, from below, this incredibly strong energy that's coming up. And today I was on the hills of Tara. And you can feel the energy coming up through there. So strong. So it's creation energy coming up. But there's also this really strong energy now coming down as well, getting stronger. So we are like the meat in the sandwich. And that's why we need to understand what's happening to our energy systems as a result. So all the dross, the toxicity from past life trauma is coming up to be released. So sometimes you might feel really physically unwell, particularly when there's a big solar flare, like a coronal mass ejection cycle, when this energy is coming in, hitting up against the galactic center, hitting up against our sun, and a big blast of light and energy coming into the planet. That's when you probably don't feel that great, because that's bringing up all this stuff and releasing it. But each time that happens, we actually feel better and better afterwards. Agree? So we're all going through this change at different rates. So what Spirit want to do now is they want to work with certain energies, first of all, to help with this release, so that it becomes easier for all of us to go through these big mass solar flare cycles, which literally means that we're going to be cleared of a lot of the trauma, karmic trauma now. So you just put your hands palm up, and you don't have to do anything except be with the energy and listen. That's all. It's pretty simple. Okay. The reason I've got you to put your hands palm up is because there's chakra points in the hands, and it helps to carry the energy through the energy meridians of the body.
Shlokasi kana balakaz zalabarakoya. Akana badi so da balakataki. Ala balakulu bataki. Ala balakata bataki. Ala badakalabadi da bataki. At the he said, he said, Alamadagali seed, but the seed, but the Sadabati, Alagaloo, Sabatali, I said, somebody, Alagalabadi, Sadabati, sea. I'm a good Sadabati, 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 see.
So this is, I'm told, it's sucking energy out, trauma energy, karmic energy, out through the axiotonal lines. Axiotonal lines are feeder lines of light that come into the acupuncture points all over the body, which enter into the energy meridian systems of our body. So the trauma energy is being sucked out like a vacuum cleaner through those channels, which are multidimensional and open-ended. It's like it's going out into the universe, really. Just take a big deep breath. Because you see, we can't be reconstructed by the light until we are clear of the dark, really. And I don't mean that negatively. It's not negative energy. It's just dross. It's just trauma energy that is held and locked into the energy fields of our body through a long, long time of being born again and again and again on earth and having pretty lousy things happen to us many times, you see. So we're just clearing the responses, the emotion, the thoughts, the beliefs, the projective energy of other people. Have to do this quite fast because we want to be able to receive and assimilate these energies of ascension which are streaming into earth more powerfully now. Akala sada bada gulusa de said the kazi, mashtad sada bada ki, alakalakalabada soda bada sabadia, alakalakalukulu sada badia, alabada sada badia, badakuluisia, alagolugulugulugulubadi sada bada gulusi, akasitia, akositia, 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 akzabada gulisadagi, akologo salabada gulusisi, amalord and sabada gulushana badagadi. A colossi said about the key, a logoli said about the golissa, a city, a magolosity, a logoli said about the So each year in these 13 years that are ahead, from 2020 to 2033, beginning now in 2019, each year there's a stronger and stronger wave of energy coming in. So the words that I speak in each year over this next 13 years will evolve and change because we're not able to bring them in at the moment, you see. So it's like a powerful ascension wave cycle beginning. And now and just have a big deep breath. Take a few big deep breaths in and just let this settle. And now Spirit want to work with the heart chakra, like the gateway between above, the more spiritual chakras of our human 7 chakra body, and the lower chakras which are to do with the more human aspects of us, you see, physical. So the gateway is the heart chakra, which is to do with love, of course. And so we're opening our heart chakra more widely now so that we might generate more love in our conscious meditation and creation. And so that we can use this energy of love to transform not only our lives, but the lives of others. Akala kazidaki zabadakoya. Akala kazidaki. Akalesisia. 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 Mishlaki zade sadabelokazete sadazakazisia. Akala kazidaka zabadakozete. Akalabedaki sititakoda. Melagalistabadakulistabadadia.
Alamadishtina balaka matia, 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 matia. And those words, I was told, mean matia, matia, matia means you are loved, you are blessed. And so it is. You are loved, you are blessed. And so it is. As the children of light, we came to this planet. The children of light. Some of you will have had lifetimes on Tara as children of light. And as I said earlier, maybe we chose to come to earth to take on the human form to help upgrade and redeem and resurrect and rebuild that beauty that was once here on this planet. Let's just take a deep breath again. We're going to do another sequence of energy, and it's to do with activating purpose and potential. Because I'm sure all of you know that there's something that you're meant to be doing here, right? And maybe some of you don't quite know what it is or how to start it, right? But you see, it's often we don't know what it is and how to start it because it's not maybe the right time. Everything's in a divine right time. You know, there is a season for every purpose under heaven, you know. There's a time that's relevant here. Some of you might not have started what your purpose is because the energy hasn't been right for you to actually connect to the energies that you need to work with yet on the planet. So what we can do to help ourselves most is just meditate. Two types of meditation, really. There's mindfulness, there's like opening, it's called Anapanasati. Anapanasati meditation is purely shutting your eyes, crossing your legs and your hands so that you create a circuit. And just focusing on breathing. That's all. And what that does is it takes all the thoughts and the chatter out of the mind and it helps us go into the inner core of ourselves and connect more to the soul and what the soul's guidance is telling us to do. So Anapanasati meditation developed in India, really. And it's just, with the Buddha taught Anapanasati meditation. So Anapanasati meditation is just purely easy, shutting the eyes, just try it now. Crossing your feet, crossing your hands, and just gently observing your breath, just a simple, easy breath as you breathe in and breathe out. Just focus your attention on your breath. And then the mind becomes stilled and calm. And if we do this regularly as well, maybe for 11 minutes as well, every day, we develop this connection to the intuition, to the higher self, to the soul, that automatically comes. You could do it for a lot longer than that, of course, if you have the time. But it's just the repetition of stilling and calming the mind. Because it calms all the organs and systems of the body as well. So what often happens is that our health gets a bit better. Because we're not carrying so much stress energy around in our body. And it's so easy to do because all you have to do is shut your eyes and watch your breathing. You see, just watch your breathing. That's all. People report feeling much happier as well and much more peaceful when they do this kind of meditation. Just mindfulness meditation, really. Emptiness, emptying the brain, emptying the thoughts, and just focusing on being.
And the other meditation that we learnt tonight was just using the mind to create vibratory states of energy, of love and joy within the cells of the body and in the body's energy fields. Both are really required. And those two things, more than anything, will help our ascension process, which is the activation of our true potential. But what we're going to do now is we're going to work with energy transmitted, energy words of creation to open purpose and potential. And then we can do the rest. Okay. So just sit with your hands palm up and be like a sponge, which just means absorb the energy, don't do anything, just be. Don't have to think anything or create anything. We're working now at the level of the DNA. So we're starting to open up aspects of our human DNA code. And remember, we have aspects of our genetic legacy from our forebears, from our parents, from our ancestors. But we also have aspects of our DNA which are from our soul. I call it the soul DNA. The soul DNA can't be seen by scientists because it's energetic. It's not like the double helix. It's energetic. But it's more important than our genetic DNA in programming who we are as people. The soul legacy, you see. So we're going to work first with the soul legacy, and we're going to diminish and diffuse and delete lifetimes of soul legacy where we feel that we haven't been able to do it. That we feel that we can't make a difference, that we've failed, that we don't know what to do. So we want to move all that karmic belief system away from out of our consciousness and out of our cells. Because it's vibrating there, you see, and it's like a ball and chain, and it's stopping us from even knowing sometimes what we're here to do and how to do it. So we shouldn't beat ourselves up as people because sometimes we just don't know because we don't know, we can't know, because we're so bogged down by all the other stuff that we've brought in on a soul level and haven't got rid of yet. But we are getting rid of it, you see. This is what ascension is about as well. So just feel the energy and just get an impression of what it might be doing for you here.
Shlia kushla sinabela kosita sukudia. Akala so the sata bedakoya. Akala kasata sata sisi beta kosita kasabita kodota kodobeta kodidia. Loda da bata papa da papa da kodota da da da. Ola bata da bata papa da papa papa. Ola bata bata rapid sata bedwi. Ala bata bata bata. Oh Lord, the Lord the see. Ada pada kati, dapat kati, lambat kati, ada pada kati, lulus dapat kati, Alla patika patika set Alla patika Alla
So what should happen in the next few weeks and months ahead is that synchronicity should occur in your life, and you just should automatically attract things that are different, to do with purpose, to do with potential, to do with opening you to what you're meant to be doing, you see. It's not something you have to do, it's something that the energy is going to do, see? So you don't have to do anything.
Shalaki, ise, el mela exu, the sadabati, Alakadabati, Salabala Sokodia. Akadapati, Sabataki, Alapatakapi, Alapatakabatakabatakabatasi, Akesi, said, Alapatakabatakabatisi, Ada baby, the better gonna see, the better gonna balaki. Ada baby, ada better sad, the papa see. A better gonna be said, but the better gonna key. Apa, bolo say they see. Apa, ada better apa. Ada better sad, ada better see. Aka. So some of you will feel changes going on in your body, and some of you may not feel anything, but you're still receiving the energy in the right way for you. You know, people are not more spiritual, because they feel it. The feeling of it is only because you're energetically sensitive or you're not, you see. I happen to be, because that's my purpose, but other people are not specifically. But you're still receiving the energy in the perfect way, whether you feel it or not. It's not a yardstick for anything occurring here. The yardstick is whether you notice changes in your life. That's the benchmark here. Whether you feel better, whether you feel happier, whether wonderful things start happening in your life, whether it's easier to create. All those things, they're the yardstick of what we're doing here tonight, you see. And this is process. This happens over a period of weeks or months. So that's what I'd like to hear about from you, like little stories of change, really, that we're happier, we're feeling more empowered, we're contributing in the way that we're meant to be contributing to the human race and to the planet, and we're co-creating together. Because more than anything, what I'd like to see happening is little pods of light, global communities joining together to be transformed, really. And in that transformation, we will transform others. As we become transformed, so we will be equipped to help others in the same way. So that's the purpose and the plan, really. So it's just beginning. Do you feel good about that? We all want to do what we've come to do. We do. And I think what I feel, for me anyway, I wanted to for many years as well. I just didn't know how to do it. But everything that's happened to me has not been anything that I've orchestrated or created. It's all been just, when I got out of my own way, when I get out of my own way, I allow Spirit to come through much more powerfully. So that's really what I really want to say to all of you tonight. When we get out of our own way, all we need to do is be receptive and open to the energies. Okay? So we see, there's a little bit more. There's another couple of energy sequences that I want to do with you tonight. Just drink some. I'm feeling a bit hot. And the reason I want to do these, and I'm pushing the envelope a bit, is because I'm leaving tomorrow and I want to make sure that everybody gets really boosted along here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work with that energy within the earth from this place called Amenti that I felt today very strongly on the hills of Tara. Okay? And it's not surprising, is it, that this was a place where the kings of Ireland were crowned. Because in going to that place, you're tapping into this powerhouse of energy within the earth. So they were empowered to be the rulers that they were meant to be. And to help the people, you see. So when you go to the hills of Tara, you're being empowered by the energies coming up. But the energy that's coming up is pure creation energy. And there's a lot of beings within the earth, the fairy folk, who, of course, assist. But the true energy is like a pulse rhythm of the earth within the earth. It's like the earth's heartbeat coming there. And this is a strong portal, a strong ley line into this energy.
So we're going to link into this energy now. We're not standing on the hills of Tara right now, but we're still able to link into this energy and use it for our own transformation. And you might feel like a bit hot coming up through your feet. Can you leave your shoes on? That's fine, or you can take them off. I don't mind. Just see.
Shlaki sa sama kole sa takuya. Akalaki sa de sama de kozat lokuya. Akalakai sa de sada de kazi de ki. Akalakasa. Akalokasa. Akalokasa. Akalokasa de sada de kozava de kozasa de kazi de kia. Amalakulusi de sada de zakara de ki. Akalasi de sada de ki. Akalabadi sada de ki. Si. Akalabadi sadabadi sa. Alamadakasiti sa. Makiaka.
So as the conduits that we are, between above and below, what we're doing is we're increasing our capacity to link into this creation energy within the earth. So that we connect with it more strongly, basically, and it begins to transform us. It will help with physical vitality and regeneration of the body, actually.
Shileki se cosa da sabede coda si. Alamela cosa de da da codi. Amela da si. The mologo de close de sedabati. Alamada de lucidity. Ala
So I've just come recently from Bosnia, and I took a group of people on a tour of the Bosnian pyramidal complex, and we sat in tunnels called the Tunnels of Ravne, which are very high life force energy, very similar to what I felt today on the hills of Tara, actually. And so this life force energy needs to come through our physical bodies more strongly. Did you feel something coming up? Yeah. So this will help with our healing, which is really only coming into balance, and it will help with our physical vitality and our physical regeneration, because we're becoming better conduits now. That energy was all about becoming better conduits to the energy which is permanent. It's like you will feel this energy. And if you were to maybe go to the hills of Tara and stand on that ground again, you'll probably feel it more strongly than you might have in the past, like you're coming stronger. Okay? Now, to finish this energy transmission work tonight, we're going to reach up to the source energy at the heart of these 22 galaxies, in this place called Beyond the Beyond, this more expanded God matrix energy. We're reaching up there now, just with our knowing. And this energy is going to come in above and below. This is also part of our opening. It's part of our opening into the more of the God truth that is within us, within the God code, within every cell of our body, who we truly are. Now,
Shliki kasada samalokosisi. Alamalako sidi say namalako sidi sanamalakoya. Akola kisidi sisi sabadogodesia. Akaka kakatabadokasia. Alabada kisidi sin namalakazada ki. Akota tesi takosa kosi takozada koya. Akala kaisi the seed salakoya. Akaka katabadakasa badakarabataki. Aka.
Who feels this? Just put up your hand. Who feels this like a downloading of energy? It's a downloading of light, really. It's coming from divine. It's coming from God. It's coming from source. It's coming from God's people of light, for God's people of light, really, on planet Earth. We're all God's people of light, of course. Every single human being on the earth is. Some people don't realise it yet, but we all are. We all have the capacity, because we all have human DNA. We all were created with this incredible potential as human avatars waiting in the wings to be activated and resurrected and expanded and made into the truth of who we are. And to be those people living in human physical form on planet Earth, and to help take the earth and the people of the earth into a new time and a new place, to create global communities of love and peace and co-creation together, which is so needed now. But of course, all this starts with the energy being right within us, so that the energy can be transmitted to others and they also feel our energy. So what we're really doing here is we are mentoring with our energy, that which we wish to create on planet Earth. And when other people feel this and they feel the changes within them, then like the rays of the sun, transformation can occur. And I'm sure you agree, that's our purpose, that's what we're here for really, isn't it? So we're beginning this now. So we're liable to see much change on this planet in the next 13, 14 years. And every year, the energy is going to get stronger. And remember, there's often a breakdown before there's a breakthrough for many people. So it might be a bit challenging for a lot of people out there on Earth. So we need to be the change makers. We need to be the ones who are in the know, not in an egotistical or arrogant way of being on a pedestal about it, but knowing the truth and helping others understand that they're not alone and that there is another way coming. See, we know this, that we're all in this together because we all live on Earth, really.
Akalatia does you not call it Ushluki. Again, see. Akata Sakotis Kotia. Akata Jish, Kodata Kolekisia. Imisi no Lushlakadia. Ekisi Muko Yelasa. Ekanatish says an Uramelokuyati. Ikia Tasukulishta Tokotobedico. Akata Takotia. Oshesi Mattia. You are loved, you are blessed, and so it is.